Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Monday night here at Proficiency Bonus, where, as usual, your DM has got something wrong and does not have his camera on. Hey! Welcome. So I apologize as I am focused a little over this direction for the moment, as I am finishing up getting our cameras moved. As you can see, we are a little, sort of shunted around as we have a couple of people who aren't able to make it here this evening, but we are still going to, power through and get some stuff done. Now, before we jump, why are you not... Where did you go, Snow Moon? Just bear with me a second. I'm just going to... There we go. Oh, that's... Sorry, I'm just trying to find someone. I forgot to hide a camera. There we go. Now I got Snow Moon here. So, before we get too far into what happened last time, because it's been a minute and a half since we've all been together, a couple of quick shoutouts. Big thanks to Team MZ, Many Sided Dice, our friends over at Streamlabs, and our best friends over at Little Dragon Corp. If you haven't checked them out yet, you can put exclamation point Little Dragon into the chat. I'll give you a link to their website. You can use Pro Bonus, get 10% off your order. Got a lot of cool things, which, I got my new set of dice in from them. They got these lovely little display thingamabobbers that I've been talking about forever and never remembered to pull up. The thing lights up, and if you put your dice in it, it makes them sort of glow, and I'm trying to aim it, but the thing is like off aim, and my camera on Roll20 is a little messy.
You're centered.
But it's hard to see on that one because of the camera light, but let me see. This dice I've used a lot to beat up on these players, so we'll just toss this one in here. And if you look at
Come on,
the way
we're half
this
down.
thing actually brings it up.
Oh, that is nice.
It makes it like light up and glow. I was just like,
Okay.
badass, man. So definitely check them out. You can use the discount code PROBONUS, get 10% off. They ship anywhere. So basically that 10% off, it pretty much covers the cost of shipping. So, hey, have shipping on us, as my friend Michael likes to say. And on that note, as I am jumping back over to finish adjusting our camera for Fury here, we will jump into what happened last time. So the last time we all managed to get together, which, believe it or not, was a month ago, just shy of at this point. Our party had been dealing with some issues within the city of Cair Westfall. The party had come in here looking for a specific item, specifically a piece of an ancient doorway or arcane portal. As they have now got 2 out of these multiple sections of portal that they have been collecting in their position. And actually, I think I need to click transition to update my screen. Hey, there we go. Now everybody's in the right spots. As they've now got multiple pieces, they managed to steal the second piece from the Lady Erlisa's basically manor, who was the viceroy of this city. Unfortunately, that wasn't really so much a theft as an all-out brawl in her home, in which she managed to run away, with Artemis getting a pretty good look at the circle that she had hidden on the floor behind her desk. But they managed to escape with their lives, with their friend Seklis's help, who had also maybe stayed behind after a couple of them had thrown some candelabras and started some small fires, sort of edged the fire on to burn down the building. They robbed them, they found the items they were looking for, as well as a bunch of other, to be fairly pricey antiquities, and have made their way out. As the party splintered to make their way back to the ship and present a less, imposing unit, Snowmoon and Seklis went off in one direction, Lydia and Artemis went off in another, Jack went off on her own. Fury, I believe you stayed behind and you were basically cat formed, watching everything happen. And William went off on their own. Well, eventually, Furia heard the guards coming and saw a group of pretty well armored guards wearing that same regalia from the Lady Erlisa. As these individuals approached, they had a conversation with the old blind man. Furia heard them say that they had placed a tracer on Lydia. So as the group sort of splintered, they went off. A couple went off in one direction. This one sort of head guard in his group started heading off, and Furia took off, eventually finding her way to Lydia and Artemis. Conversations were had. They went to visit an old friend, Maylie Bailey, in the marketplace. Eventually, Jack had ended up finding her way there after seeing a brief flash and hearing a familiar voice and seeing a flash of Lydia's staff. Jack caught up with him in there, asked Lydia to trust her, took the staff, threw it in the carriage that was going past. As the group of you watched, as a portion of the basically the rank and file guard that were following this headsman followed the staff off back to the north. The head guard kept following a couple of you, and eventually you guys managed to lose them within the market and make your way back to the ship. That's where we actually pick up this evening's session, as the entirety of the party is currently on the ship. You guys have all made your way past the guards, gotten into the ship, down into the hold, and Jack is chomping at the bit to get back to the guild hall. Eventually, though, cooler heads prevail and think that maybe running right back out, midday now, when there's still a fire going on, the captain's advised the group of you that the rest of the crew still have another couple of days on their shore time. So it's coolidge prevailed, and it's decided you guys will lay low for the rest of the day, and in the morning, Jack will take off to take care of his business or her business. So eventually, evening claims the group of you, and the next morning awakens. And the story is yours. Is there anything that our players who are here this evening, anything that you guys have that you would like to encroach upon? Anything else you guys have to take care of within the city? You know that Jack needs at least probably anywhere between like 1 to 4 hours. So you've got a couple of hours to kill this morning while Jack is taking care of business.
I don't have anything that I need to do outside the ship, but I would definitely make a point of asking Snow Moon or Artemis what happened to Seklas, as he's currently not on the ship with us. So whoever's around, I would ask around. I don't know who went running off with him.
Okay, so as you're looking around,
around,
William, you don't see anywhere right around, but you guys have sort of gotten used to William's up the crack of dawn. It tends to disappear. It just sort of shows up mid-morning when they know when he knows something's happening. Given the captain said you guys have a little time, it's probably floating around somewhere on the ship, maybe flirting with another girl. Might be out on the docks if it's been safe. It's as you guys are still down in the crew quarters currently. You know, Jack told you yesterday that she was taking off first thing to head there. And, you know what, to keep things interesting just in case, Lydia went with Jack. So, the two of them are off. You know you've got a few hours before they're due back. It looks like it's just the three of you here. Fabio, still every couple of minutes you hear. Looks like he's still nailing boards down to cover that hole from the creature you guys fought a few days ago.
So yeah, I would find where the other two are at and just sort of ask the broad question. So, what happened to Seklas?
Real quick for player knowledge, I don't actually remember what happened to Seklas.
Yeah, it's been a month. It's understandable. So as you guys were heading down, and basically you guys were coming through on your route back, you sort of carved wide east and came down through Upper Hardscape Borough.
Right.
As you guys got to basically we'll call it the quad section. So where basically the corner of Upper Hardscape, the Dock Ward, and Ravensmoor Village is. So right about in somewhere like right in here.
Okay.
Actually, let me shift things so that puts it a little more center of the screen for our viewers at home. As you got there, he basically, reached over, gave you a quick pat on the back and said, "Thanks for everything.
Okay.
I'm gonna head back down where I belong. You guys have a safe journey." But you would also know that as you're retcon a little from DM because I didn't say Jack made sure to leave the sending stone with let's see here. Okay, left the sending stone with Artemis. So as last night before you all turned in for the evening, Artemis Jack came over to you and said, "Here's the sending stone." It's how that she had been talking to Seklas. So you guys have a way to contact him if you should choose to.
Okay. All right. So he and I we headed back towards the boat from the manor, but we split about halfway back, and that was the last I saw of him.
He didn't seem upset. I thought he would be. We didn't manage to kill the lady.
He just thanked me for all the help that we could give, and that was about it.
Seems odd to me.
I do have the stone, the sending stone, if he wants to contact us or vice versa.
Well, I don't suppose it would be polite to really go and ask for my clothes back, but probably all bloody by now anyway.
Snowman, you would
Yeah.
remember, he was looking a little... even if you guys had cleaned up, clothes are probably not in the best shape.
Okay. Yeah, I think those clothes are probably beyond repair at this point, so.
Well, I did get new ones on the way to the boat, so... Ah, well. But yes, that is something's going on here that I don't understand. There's pieces here and there, but we don't have a full picture, and I don't know if we want to go after the full picture. We just should leave this place and not come back for a while.
Seems like we got what we came here for, and we've had enough trouble on this island as it is.
Quite.
Go ahead, all three of you make perception checks for me.
No. Natural 20.
Oh. Welcome back.
15.
So 25.
Jesus.
11, 15.
Okay, give me... Oh, I just realized I do not have my D&D Beyond stuff open yet. Oopsie. Oh, give me a sec, 'cause I rolled and I don't know what this thing's modifier is yet. Give me just a moment.
I don't think we have any choice to go anyway. The captain seems pretty set on staying around.
Well, I mean, not all the cruise back, but I mean, stay here, wait a couple days, sail off, and not bother poking our heads into things we don't understand.
Yes, once we're clear to leave, I think we best leave this place behind us.
I'm just waiting on your roll, that's all. Hello?
Wonderful, my mic decided to mute me.
Oh.
That's not even... I wasn't even regular muted at that point. What the hell, Mike? Okay, so as you were all doing this, you can start to hear things. They seem to be coming from literally under the ship.
No, that's the worst.
It's not in that hold area beneath it. Like you're hearing, it's almost like somebody is checking the hull of the ship, and every couple of moments you hear sort of a... Then it moves a little bit. You can hear something banging on the side of the ship.
Well, I hate that.
Do we have like a porthole window on this deck?
It's...
Well, Art really hasn't told us that
Yeah, it's...
they heard
There
anything
are a
yet.
couple of small things that are up near the upper section of the crew quarters, but where Art is hearing this from is literally under.
Oh, just Art. Okay, I didn't.
Yeah.
I
So,
missed
oh
it.
no, it's with what?
So, whereabouts on the ship are we right now? We're below
Okay, so actually, let
deck,
me yeah, hold on. Let me jump over. We'll grab our
I
ship
would
thing
think
rather
so,
than the
if
city
we're
map.
trying to hide.
Yes, you guys are currently in the crew quarters. So you
Okay.
guys are. Oh, come on.
I guess their ears would just like perk up.
So that is everybody except Art. Where's Arth?
Mm,
Oh, there you are. You're over there because I got tokens everywhere. Really? I don't want to take the wall with me. There we go.
There's 2 jacks. There's 2.
Yeah.
I dragged some
We
from
got
Sis that I didn't
twins.
see.
Ah,
Okay, so we're just gonna,
even more.
I'm My word, I got things on layers on layers. Okay, delete all that. There we go. So we got everyone there. We're just gonna stick Lydia over here and cigar thing. So basically, you guys are anywhere in this lower section are where you're hearing this coming from. And forgive me, viewers at home, I gotta zoom in so I can get you over to a better view. Even that, really. I really gotta work on this roll 20 aim. Okay, so where you're hearing them from is like right over. Come on, where's my clicking? Like right over on this side. And it's moving. So it's literally if you've ever seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Remember the scene when the judge walks into the bar and he's knocking on the wall looking for the hidden hold? Just each spot. After a couple seconds, moves a few feet, does it again. That's sort of what your mind is hearing, Art. As you hear it, then stops for a couple of seconds, then a few minutes it moves about 5-10 feet, then you hear it again, then it waits and it moves again.
So not meant to alarm or anything, but do you guys hear that, or is it just me again? Because if this is a paranoia thing like it was before, oh boy.
Are you hearing?
I don't hear anything.
Exactly.
No, great.
Well, what is it? Is it?
Art's gonna kind of like shuffle over to where they last heard it and kind of like follow it around. There's a knocking sound on a boat. Underneath the boat, which is a little bit more alarming, I guess. If that's a turtle again, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, I think we shouldn't really go on deck to check it out. But if it's under the boat, that's not going to help. We could go where that monster was hiding. That's pretty much as low as we can go. We might have to tear up some of Fabio's boards, though. Or I could sneak up, turn into a fish, and take a view that way.
If it's a turtle, I don't want to risk you being eaten. We've already done that.
I can turn into something a lot bigger than a turtle.
Oh, well, those
Maybe not those turtles, but you know what I mean, right?
Yes. If you think you can do it without being detected,
Do you think other guards would do something like that? I don't know.
in the water,
Why would they knock on somebody's ship's hull? Other
I don't
than
know. I'm just
okay,
making...
just
if they were guards, they would probably just board us.
That's true. Oh dear. Maybe do that then. Maybe the fish thing.
the fish thing. All right. What kind of fish are here in the harbor? I haven't really noticed yet. Have you seen anything? You know, looking around.
Someone you swam over, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes, I did, but did I encounter
Yeah,
any?
you would have seen. We'll say. I don't know what saltwater fish are.
I just
We'll say
need a
tuna.
random fish, so I'll bring blend in.
Okay,
That's what
it was like a blue fish, and I kind of start like making
Red
shapes in the
fish.
air. It was like this
One fish.
long, and it had like this color scales. And
Well, Furia, you saw a couple of fish that were pretty decent size when you guys were off the shore of that first the first village you were in.
Okay.
So you've got a couple that are indigenous to this area of the ocean that you could jump into and wouldn't stand out too much.
Like a big tuna.
Yes.
All right. So
did not
I'm
know
going.
the word
Alright,
for the fish.
I got an idea in my head. All right, that should work. I might have seen one of those in the market.
Well,
Probably.
okay. Well, an alive one would be
Fish on a
preferable.
stick. So I would like to stealth onto the deck and I don't know what's hanging over the side, but maybe climb over a railing and sort of hang down, and then turn into a fish, and then drop as quietly into the water as I can.
Okay, so as you climb up onto the deck, and I'm gonna jump off, so y'all can see the entire map, right? Both sides of it, or no?
No,
As much as
Okay.
the ship is.
just
let me
just the lower
copy.
deck of the ship here.
Okay, so I'm gonna put all of you
Oh,
on
okay.
both sides
Oh,
here.
okay.
Actually, this thing is not there anymore. So when you start to climb up, so you're coming out of this stairway right here. Now, this side over here is where the dock is. I'm gonna just grab really? Yeah, this won't work for quick fix. Okay. So the dock. Oop. Okay, this is gonna look hideous. I'm just gonna stretch this way the heck out so you're not gonna hit much on. So the dock is over here. So when you climb up, you're gonna be basically jumping down to avoid being seen over on this side. And
That's
as
what
you-
I would like. Yeah.
Okay. So as you're doing that, as you sort of climb up, first go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
I got a 19.
Okay. And let me just check what our passive is here. Because while they are looking, they are not looking for a fish dropping into the water.
Oh crap! I
Okay.
knew it.
So
Jumping fish.
well, that's it. Realistically, you're just falling in. You're covered by the back end of the boat too, so yeah, you are easily able to drop into the water without. You don't think anyone noticed you.
Yeah, so I'd start swimming around in a meandering fish way and start looking out for whatever's tapping on the hull of our boat.
Okay. So you don't even have to roll a perception check on this because it is very easy once you're sort of swimming around down underneath. As you see, looks to be a somewhat average-sized humanoid. Swimming. So it doesn't look like they're the best swimmer, but they're sort of pulling themselves along the bottom of the boat, and every couple of feet, you watch them pressing the side of their head against the boat and rapping on it. Like they're listening for something. As you're swimming through and noticing, though, you see there are a couple of other boats that are moored around you. And you're seeing people doing the same thing to other boats. It looks like they are looking for something, and there's more than one of them.
Oh no.
All of the humanoids look of the same type, or are they various?
You're getting similar builds, but it's hard to see with... even as it's fairly obvious, these people are wearing some sort of suit. So you can see, I'll phrase it, they're vaguely human looking. You don't have like a human, then a dwarf, then, a lizard folk. They're all just standard, 2 arms, 2 legs, average build, probably 5.5, somewhere between 5.5 and 6.5 feet tall. So there's a little difference in size, but nothing too extreme.
So if I know, I'm pretty sure, because I've been in the hull of our boat, that there's probably nothing hidden there. I'd swim around the other boats as well, and just sort of, kind of like a human would. Like they like something, but they have to keep walking because it would be awkward to stop and stare.
Yeah.
So I would just swim around, and try to figure out, or I would try to stay down there as long as until somebody found something,
Oh, okay.
or until they started leaving. As I think I can be down there like 2 hours.
Yeah, what level are you? Because it's half your...
5.
Yeah, so it's
5.
2 hours right now. So, as Fury's doing this, Snowman and Artemis, what would you two be doing?
Panicking.
Yeah, just sitting in the below deck, because don't want to go above deck and get spotted. So
No.
They should have given her that stone. Wait, no, Seckless has the other one. That wouldn't be any good.
and I don't
Why
even
am I
know
such
where
a
he is at this
shit
point.
wizard?
He just kind of looks away. He doesn't really know what to say to that.
Small gnome just like breaking down.
So it's okay. So it's about an hour goes by, and as you've been sort of again the same sort of just looping around,
Getting my
Okay.
swim exercise in for today.
get in your car and all of a sudden you notice that next to, so the boat not right beside yours, but the one two over, the person there has pulled out some, looks to be an old hand drill, and is literally on the side of it, and you can see is now starting to just turn the crank.
I would make sure to shorten my loop, and because my experiments with fish, I know that I can't stop swimming. So I have to shorten my loop, and I'll make sure that they're not out of eyesight. Just
Okay.
'cause curiosity. Curiosity killed the fish?
You never know. So about another half hour goes by. So Snow Moon and Artemis, it's been about an hour and a half now that you two have been sitting down here since Furia left.
I'm panicking.
Do we still hear the knocking on our hull?
Yeah, now it's coming from the other side though.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, just kind of holding steady. Don't want to.
can she breathe down there as a fish? I mean, we could breathe. Is she okay? Did she get eaten? If we
Fish.
find her on a stick, this is going to suck.
I mean, fish breathe in water, right?
Why don't I know that? Art is coming undone.
Yes, and I guess you guys would not know how long I could stay.
No!
Okay, and every little while, lady, is here again that same sort of 3 tap, you know. And you hear Fabio curse, and he hits himself with a hammer. He's still working away over there, but apparently, even being right next to her and working on this, he is not hearing a bloody thing. So, Fira, eventually, as you're making these loops, you've watched now as this individual has finished drilling the first hole, has moved on to drill a second and a third into this. And you're starting to watch bubbles come out of the hole on the side of this ship.
And I'm thinking, like, is he trying to sink the ship? Why would they be knocking on the ship? I mean, you could poke a hole in anything, and this is really weird. This whole place is weird. Do I still have time to sit and swim?
Yeah,
by?
you've got probably about another half hour. So and realistically, from the distance you are at the side of it, you probably got about another maybe 15-20 minutes before you'd have to start heading back to the ship.
All right. What I would probably want to do is figure out where I could walk ashore as perhaps like a cat or a dog, and do the same thing I did last time and walk onto the deck or the docks and then back onto the ship.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
As
and
I
make a
didn't really
perception
take
check for me.
notice about guards.
Yeah.
So. Seven.
It's, you don't really see anything. It's hard to see up and see what the shoreline looks like from where you are near under the ship. But you remember that Snow Moon said that he had jumped into the water and swam from a point near Ravensmoor Village to get to the ship from the far right-hand side. So you know if you head to the east, we'll say east-northeast, that you'd hit a shoreline that you should be able to get up to. You're just not sure how steep or how easy it'll be to get to shore from where he went into the water. He wasn't overly clear. But you know he jumped in, and it wasn't something that was really discussed.
Right.
As you're getting ready to head over, though, you watch as this person, after finishing the third hole, goes into a small pouch they're wearing around them and starts pulling out these long, looks to be strange little cylinders. Starts shoving them into the hole.
Even worse.
It does it for all 3 holes and then turns and starts to swim away.
And that's on our ship?
No, this is on the ship 2 ships over.
Okay.
Yeah, Furia's over what this was happening, and Furia's sort of shortened her loop to see what's going on over there.
Okay.
So right now, you guys are the only ones at your ship, unknown to you.
Yeah, so I would, well, maybe the others will know. Maybe the captain will know. I mean, they're better with ships than I am. And I'll go looking for the, where Snowmoon jumped in.
Okay.
And,
So it takes you about not more than 4 or 5 minutes to get over there, and as you sort of swim over, come to a point where it is. Let me just jump back over to my screen here. You get to a point that it's right sort of where the Dock Ward and Ravensmoor Village meet, where there is a large stone wall to your east, and you can see that it's literally underwater all the way up. But as you sort of turn more to the north and head more towards the Dock Ward, there's a small section where it sort of dips down, and there's sort of a wooden dock right on the lip of the water. So you think you should be able to do something of shifting and then climbing up there as some manner of animal. Or
yeah,
mammalian
I turn
animal.
into the cat that I was last time, the scruffy, not too well looking, missing a half near sort of cat. That's now almost probably half drowned and wet. And try to climb up on the dock and make my way back to the ship.
Easy enough to climb up. It's literally only a couple inches out of the water. And eventually, about 20 minutes later, you make your way back over to the dock. Snowman Artemis, anything you'd be doing? It's been over 2 hours now since you've seen Furia.
Catatonia.
Should we try go look for her, Art? I don't know.
I don't
what to do.
know. She turned into a fish and we're in an ocean.
I mean,
Instead of there's people around, should we send Fabio on the deck, ask him to look for a fish? I don't know. I don't think that would help.
I mean, he may be able to move around without, setting off any alarm. If
Maybe just. You know what? Ask Fabio if he can see any guards or anything roaming around the ship. At least we can have that peace of mind, I guess.
Okay, Fabio,
Yeah.
come here for a moment.
Watch it. Comes walking out from through these boxes or his way out. You can see there's a couple of bandages wrapped around his thumb, one on his ring finger on his right hand. It's
I just look at his hands for a second, and all right, we need you to go up to the docks and just walk back and forth and see if you can spot Furia. She's been gone for almost 2 hours and we can't go above deck, so just walk the dock past the ships and then come back and let us know if you see her.
Or any guards, or if there's a lot of guards.
Yes.
he sort of scratches his head a little bit. Okay. And puts down the hammer and nails on one of the grates and then takes off running up the stairs.
hands looked horrible.
Yes, you would think he never used a hammer before.
As he gets about 3/4 of the way up the stairs, the two of you hear, "Who the hell's Furia?"
Oh, Jesus.
Oh crap!
Then you hear the rest of the way. You hear the door close. And
No. Art sinks lower in despair.
Furia, about 4 or 5 minutes later, as you're on the dock, you see Fabio walking down the docks towards you. And every single woman that he sees, Furia! Are you Furia?
I'm a cat, so I'm going to attempt to bite him on the ankle.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll. You're about to kill Fabio.
Oh my gosh.
It's like that's like a 10. It's not great.
Hold on, let me. Fabio ain't exactly wearing, leather armor.
Well, if he's hit by that, the cat has better defenses than he does.
It hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
It does 1 point. That's what it does.
As you reach out and you manage to nick into his leg, son of a... and looks down and sees you. He goes looking, realizes he doesn't have the hammer, and starts looking for something to...
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm running towards the boat.
Let me see here. He's going to give chase.
All right.
So he is now chasing after this cat.
I mean, it
And
worked
I'm
out
running
sorta
right
well.
back to the ship.
God.
Kind of exactly what I want him to do.
Okay, so he's going to take over, and let's see here.
Oh my god.
Okay, as he's run, and Furious, you're taking off, and the two of you are going off. You hear sort of a scraping sound as he manages to see something. He's picking something up that he's going to chuck at the back of the cat.
Oh, jeez.
And all of a sudden, rolling past you as he misses rather poorly, here, bing, 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 as a looks like a small can of something just sort of goes bouncing by you on the dock. And then from the back here, hey, I wasn't done with that. He's still giving chase though.
I do have 40 feet of movement, so I could.
You are outpacing him.
Yes, and if I make it to the boat, I'm going to get to the middle of the boat on the first floor or on the deck, and just sort of stop and sit and wait for him to catch up. And then if he gets onto the deck near the ship, I'm going to head towards the ladder down.
So as you stop up there, and you're no, the ship. As you run up there, and you hear him on the plank leading up, but where he has been frantically chasing, now you hear the footsteps slow. It seems to be he's being a little more mindful on his way up.
He falls in the water.
And as he sort of comes up, and you watch as just sort of peeking around the railing and looking up, you see the long flowing blonde hair sort of stick out over. As he looks and makes direct eye contact with you.
And he sees very intelligent eyes of a very scrawny cat staring right back at him.
I don't know how intelligent the eyes are that are looking back at you, though.
Yeah, it's he playing with the full deck. It's later on, no one's home. As he starts to take a couple steps, and all of a sudden he turns around and he goes, Get your crossbow on you. It starts pointing down at the cat. You can hear call it up to somebody on the front of the ship.
Can we hear any of this?
Go ahead and you and Snowman make perception checks.
Yeah, as soon as if I hear that, I'm
Oh,
gonna start running.
you definitely hear it. You're only like 10,
I'm gonna
15
take off
feet away.
towards
Dirty 20.
the second.
Snowman, you can definitely hear Fabio calling out asking about a crossbow.
23.
Oh yeah, same with you, Artemis. You can hear Fabio and he's calling out asking somebody if they've got a crossbow.
Okay, that doesn't bode well.
I'll take my greatsword out, and with the hilt, I'll like bang up on the deck above me to try and get his attention. Bang, bang, bang.
Okay, as you're banging up, and Fury, you said you're running down into the hold.
Yeah, I'm gonna be running down.
Okay. You're running down. He's like, shoot it! Shoot it! The person, shoot what? And so as you're banging up, it doesn't seem like you're getting any response, and all of a sudden, a cat runs into the room.
We're not surprised at this point, right? We're
You-
used to seeing this.
Probably saw this cat. Remember this cat from yesterday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we saw her running around as
Like-
it.
But yeah, you ran into her, and then I think Snowman was there when she changed before he went swimming.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
well, good. You're not dead. What the hell is Fabio doing?
I'm gonna change into myself and say, apparently he doesn't like when cats bite him.
I don't think many people would.
But he also doesn't know who I am and was shouting my name everywhere on the docks, which is something we ought to avoid. So maybe one of you should shout up and get him to come back down here before he makes even worse trouble.
Okay, well, that might have been our fault. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay.
And then I have some interesting and bizarre and maybe potentially threatening information to tell you all. But maybe take care of Fabio first.
All right, so I'll walk up, and just stick my head out to the top deck. And
As you stick your head sort of out of that doorway towards the stairs leading up onto the dock, you see Fabio with what looks to be a barrel lid grabbed in his arm. So literally strapped like he'd be wearing a buckler.
yeah.
In that hand, a dagger.
Oh.
And what looks to be like a portion of netting off the side of the ship. As you walk down. You see it? I'm gonna
Put that
kill
down.
the little thing.
Fabio, put
Bit
that
my
down.
damn leg.
Fabio, put that down, and come down here.
I'll come down. Puts the dagger away, but keeps the shield in the net.
The cat was Furia. It's okay. She can change into animals.
His mind is blown.
Just come down now.
He takes about 2 steps, sits down on the stairs. So you tell me to look for her,
Yes, if
and she bites me.
Well, you found her. That's the good news. Thank
I'll
you.
explain once you come down here, please.
and why did you not tell me before you left that you did not know what she looks like? I could have told you.
Right?
The rest
you
of
would've
us are
said-
all down in the
Okay.
hold, though, right?
I'm sort of shouting up that.
Yeah, at this point, he's now walking behind Snowmoon, following Snowmoon down. So, you would have told me. You would have said, she's a cat.
Well, I
And then I
didn't
would have been
know.
running around asking every cat if it was Furia, instead of every woman.
Just get down here.
Finishes coming down.
I needed to speak to the captain about the hiring policies.
Fabio, I'm sorry that I bit you. And I'm gonna
You're
do
not a
a
cat.
healing word on him. Just pat him on the shoulder and healing word. And I didn't think it was a good idea for you to be shouting my name everywhere. And, I couldn't make myself not a cat at that time. So it was the only course of action I had, but I'm sorry.
I don't get you. Yeah, I don't get you people. Can I go fix my hole?
Yes.
That is a
please.
Yes, you
sentence that sure you can do.
He walks over to as he starts to walk away, you go, hey, my hand feels better.
Oh, that's funny.
And but you start hearing the same thing again, but it's now, yeah, the three of you are still there.
Is the captain on board? Have we seen her yet? This
Yeah,
morning?
you saw her when you were in your cat form. She was up on the deck by the wheel. Just sort of looked like she was just sort of like hanging out, relaxing a little bit. Watching Fabio make an ass out of himself. She watches as he's sort of creeping up, staring at this cat. The cat just sort of they're like,
Oh dear, maybe we need Fabio to go get her. I think this is something she should hear. Fabio, could you please
just
get the
like,
captain for us?
If he doesn't agree, then I'll go. I'm tiny.
And you do know what the captain looks like, right, Fabio?
he gives a very
Oh, man.
half-hearted kick at you and just kicks a couple of crates. They barely sort of wobble. Goes upstairs and eventually the captain comes back down alone, but she comes down. Oh, it's just you three. I saw Lydia and Jack leave earlier, and yes, what can I do for you?
Well, it's troubling. Earlier, a couple hours ago, Art heard some suspicious knocking on the hull. I went and I investigated, and there was people swimming, knocking on, well, a lot of ships in the bay on the hull. They were looking for something. I stayed down there for nearly 2 hours, and one of them seemed to find what they were looking for, dug out a hand drill, drilled 3 holes in the hull of the ship, and then put in 3 long cylinder-like objects. And then, well, I don't know if they really left, but I was, running out of air, so to speak, and had to leave myself. So I'm not sure what's going on, but it is disturbing that people are drilling holes in hulls of ships and putting things in.
Yes, and there were similar knocking noises in the bottom of our ship, so, just concerning.
But they were not drilling holes, correct?
Not in our ship. The 2 spaces over from ours. But there was somebody knocking on a lot of ships that were docked here. It's like they didn't know which ship they were looking for. I don't know. I just know we don't
ran
want a hole
into
in ours.
some interesting individuals who claimed they were looking for people who had killed someone and tried to burn down the house yesterday afternoon, and that the Viceroy had given authorization for all vessels to be searched and all people to be held. I naturally requested documentation, which they were unable to provide, so the crew that was here aided me in removing them. But I do not... I suppose they would not stoop to such levels unless they had proof that the ones involved were from that vessel.
Do we know what that ship is for? Or who has it?
No, I personally only left long enough to get food, and I don't go very far. I like to remain with the ship, just to be on the safe side.
It's a good
But,
idea.
I mean, if
Well,
you'd
it
like to
seems
go
they-
over, we haven't seen much in the way of the city's guards, at least this morning.
Well, what would be the point of putting long objects in somebody's hull, unless it's some sort of magical device? Wouldn't it be more efficient just to, do a search like you said that they were going to do?
Depends on what their purpose is.
True.
If they're trying to make it just look like it just happened and it's not connected to their raiding of ships. Which,
It could be
knowing
if you
what
put
we've
enough
been through,
holes in and they're properly sized. It depends on when the ship is leaving. It could end up miles out to ocean and just sink. Then you're left with nothing but the small rowboats to attempt to survive in the ocean. I
Well,
think
I
with all the crew
suggest-
that we have,
Before
we only
we
have
leave,
about 12 or
May-
13 rowboats that
I can
Well-
always do a ship hull inspection before we leave, to be sure. For our ship.
that'd be good.
definitely be appreciated, as it is. I'd rather not sink out there. Rather not sink at all.
But yes, is there a certain spot on the ship that would be more affected to this? They were searching for a specific point and they didn't know what it was until they knocked on it.
I am not one for. I am not a shipwright, so I wouldn't know for certain. One would assume holes in a proper location. I mean, any hole would allow water to flow in. Can't think of one spot being better than another, but. And there may be shipbuilders in the dock ward you could speak to if you had questions on that.
I think as soon as Jack and Lydia get back, we should get out of here first chance we get.
Well, we
As
still
I
have a
mentioned
couple
yesterday,
days.
the crew still has another day or so. I can't leave with half the crew left on the shore.
No, that's understandable. It's
Yes.
kind of our fault that we jumped on this so early. At least we're.
It's the only safe place, really. Even, thanks to the captain's help. Although I would like to know what's going on.
Yes, I do wonder what might be on that boat, why they decided to drill holes in that one.
Well, if you give me an hour's rest, I could take a jaunt on land without getting too detected, but I'm not sure if the search for us has died down yet or not. Can you guys disguise yourself, maybe?
No.
No, yeah, I can't really do anything
We
like
should
that.
be able to, that's a thing that wizards do, right? I think. I don't know. There was only a couple when I was growing up, and they seemed pretty fantastical to me.
Don't ask
Maybe I
me.
should- Go buy some spells or something. Get some books and. Oh dear.
Yes, the only thing I can do is turn myself into an animal, so. It works sometimes, but I can only do it so often. Well, we could
I
just
could
try and keep to the
probably
shadows.
help with the smaller of you. If we take some. Well, it would perhaps not be the most pleasant experience, but proper application of grease and other things can alter the hair color temporarily, of course, but it could make you appear to be someone slightly different for a while.
It does stand out a little bit, Art. And I'm like touching my hair. Beautiful, but it
But,
does stand out.
Again, at the same point, you, my friend, you are just a massive creature, and
He just kind of bows his
Really?
head, like.
really don't know what I could do to aid in you being. I mean, I suppose we could do something similar and just cover you and find something to cover you with to alter your
I mean,
scaled
if
hue,
we,
but I
if
don't know
we
how common
think
your
it's
kind are here.
yes, if we think it's really necessary for me to get off the boat, but I think it's best if I don't.
Maybe
It
keep
is
an ear
up
out
to you.
for it.
Have you heard anything
If she's
from
knocking.
Jack or Lydia?
No,
No.
not since they left this morning.
What of that other person who is aiding you? Would they
Jack's
be able to
brother.
assist with this?
We parted ways on when we
Oh,
were headed back
really?
towards the ship, but we do have a means of communicating with him.
He might be able to help. Maybe even do investigating for us.
That's true.
Perhaps reaching out to him would be a worthwhile endeavor.
Yes, maybe we should give that a try.
Art'll dig out the sending stone. Could someone else use these? I'm really no good with these. There's a limit on words, and eloquent as I may be, there's a lot of ums and ahs.
Well, what do we want to say to Seklas?
I guess.
Well, what about something like, something's going on here with the ships? Need help investigating? Should maybe we meet with him? Or arrange to get a letter to him? I don't know.
Maybe
A little bit.
if we could somehow point him towards the one ship you saw specifically, and maybe drop a note on our dock
Also,
afterwards, or
making sure he's okay, and maybe if he's heard anything regarding the lady and things.
Well, I think that
Yeah.
would be easier conveyed
When's he?
in
He is
person.
here.
As
Yes.
is, if he's not okay, we don't know who has the other stone. So we could say, hey, curious about the ship in Bay, whatever. What bay would that be, Captain? I don't know. And maybe find out what it's about. Meet us somewhere? I don't know. We got a lot of information, and we can't say it all in 25 words.
Meet us here at this time. That way, if someone else shows up, then we know it's been compromised, maybe.
Okay, so who's sending the message?
Where would we like to meet
Dibs
you?
out.
Are we going to come to the temple? I mean, that's nearby here. Or is I don't.
If I can get a handle on this hair, honestly, I'm thinking of taking a bunch of it off if it's going to make this much of an issue.
The captain sort of chuckles. No, you said you were concerned about being noticed. My thought was only to disguise. It's rather fetching on you.
If
Again,
we can
as
make it
As-
Temporarily something other than watermelon pink, then yes.
So the captain's just going to sort of walk over and put a hand on the small of, like right in between our shoulder blades, and just sort of start escorting you towards the kitchen area.
Oh.
And then do the cooking and whatnot to see what sort of stuff they've got to play with.
The grease is on the bottom shelf to the right.
Why?
All right, so
Art, you can see as the captain comes over, goes right to where Fury mentions, pulls out some grease, and looks like going in for some of the like ash and charcoal from under the cooking fire, and sort of making this sort of like black, almost dye-ish paste-looking substance with the grease. Captain looks over. This probably is not going to be the most pleasant experience, but it will allow you to move a little more freely, at least, well, until you get wet.
Sounds good. Ugh.
So that leaves Furia and Snow Moon standing there with the stone in between them.
all right, so meeting Seklas at the temple.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan. And
Tell him our concerns about boat holes.
yes, I guess we don't need the dock number just yet if we're gonna meet. If you will and Art are gonna meet him in person.
Well,
And
he
I-
knows probably the city better than we do and could direct us towards people to talk about shipbuilding and who's who. All right, here it goes. And I'll sort of look at the stone rather awkwardly and then just start talking and hoping that it works because I really don't know how this thing works. And I'll-
Okay. So, as you start talking and you hit your 25 words, a minute or two goes by and you start to hear a response back in your mind. And it's a voice you do recognize, although not Seklas.
Oh.
Well, it is wonderful to hear from you. Seklas is boarding his vessel. He is moored on, and goes to describe that document to you. His vessel is the Crimson Bow. You will know it by its red and white flag. Sorry, sails. Dear mistake. He is hoping to depart today. And that's why you're here.
Okay.
And you do recognize it as Father Abel.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go find the captain as she's in the midst of transforming Art and say, where's birthing whatever Father Abel said? Is it maybe the ship that got the holes in it?
And then the downside start coming in, and you can see she's like turning on the ship, trying to get her bearings based on the dock. It's either 2 or 3 down, heading in that direction, so it is possible. I'm rather busy here, and 2 hands and fingers deep in Art's hair at the moment. And you can see there's still this slight sort of watermelon pinkish stripe in the middle, but the rest of it is sort of this almost like a salt and pepper, as just trying to get the ash to be more like a black than this sort of salt and pepper that I got going on in the beard.
Feels so slimy.
Well,
it's a little bit pulling as the captain's going up and just like. She looks back over at Javier. Just walk up on deck and look. I'm telling you, the gods haven't been around this morning.
I'm gonna stealth up, but I'm also what about we leave in an hour if the ship doesn't look like it's near leaving. I don't know what that will look like, but it sounds right. I'm gonna stealthily poke my head out and look around to see if there are any guards
Oh, okay.
looking at ships, and if not, then I'll sort of stand up straight and walk toward the railing and towards the boats.
So first, go ahead and make your stealth check.
It's an 18.
Okay. And second, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Another 18.
Okay. So as you're looking, you do definitely notice that the ship, a couple of spots down where they were drilling the holes, has the red and white sails on it.
All right.
So I'm pretty sure that it is Seckless's ship that they were drilling those holes into.
Can I see if they would be leaving within the hour, or
I'll say
is
go ahead
there
and
a
make
little
an
bit of-
intelligence check.
$13.
Okay. So you're from where you can see at this distance, it's hard to say. You can see there is somebody up in the crow's nest. You do see some bodies moving around on the deck. But beyond that, you're really not sure. Most of what happens in terms of getting your own ship prepped for the voyage is handled by other crew members. It's not something that you specifically have been dealing with. So as you're looking, you can see the sails are mostly furled at the moment. But they could drop those. You've seen Captain have yours drop to get moving in just a couple of moments, so you really have no basis on how to judge it, unfortunately.
Do I see any guards wandering about?
No,
More
you don't
than
see any guards
usual
walking around the dock currently.
dockside? Okay.
Let me rephrase. None of the guards that were actively seeking the grouper. You do see a couple of people that are wearing armor, but they're the same people who've been there. That same sort of like, we'll call it
Dock
sort
guard.
of security guard rather than like the Viceroy's personal guards.
Paul Blart. Doc cop.
So yeah, I'd rush back down, and well, it looks like they're close to leaving. There's lots of activity. As soon as Artemis has, finished, we should head over.
And that was Seckless's boat, it seems, based on
Yes.
what Father Abel said.
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay. So, so they must have found Seckless, and
Or something
be-
in a ship.
maybe.
I don't know. I can't make sense of it. But yes, Captain, as soon as you're done there with hair, we should go.
I don't even know if I want it back after this.
So it takes about another 5 minutes or so for the captain to finish up with Art. And a few minutes later, the captain walks over and Storm and Fear, you both have been traveling with Art a little bit. You guys have been through some stuff together. You can still recognize Art in the face, but even with just this, the hair sort of almost greaser style, like slicked back, and is now like darkish black with these couple of little like gray streaks in it from the mix of the charcoal and just ash that the captain mixed in with the grease to make this sort of paste. Art does look like a very different person at quick glance. If someone was to come along and like actually inspect Art's face, you're pretty sure that if they were familiar with who they were looking for, they might recognize Art, but... And then as Captain just sort of, again, pats Art on the shoulder and just walks away, starts walking up the stairs, and you hear the door to her quarters open and close.
Was I supposed to thank her? I don't know.
Look, nice. Different, but it works.
Different is good.
Anyway, let's go.
Okay.
About a minute later, you hear the door open again. Comes walking over and throws what basically looks to be almost a bed sheet, and just sort of one hand throws it towards Snow Moon.
I guess I catch it.
It's
Furia
easy enough
definitely
to
tries
do.
to hide her chuckle.
As you're looking at it, it looks to be basically like almost like a cleric's vestment robe. It's a bluish green color, very long, sort of voluminous sleeves, sort of big, oversized hood on it. Drags a little bit on the ground behind it. Very delicate features on the waist. Has sort of a like a wide belt around like a wide embroidered style belt around the side of it that sort of fastens in the front. This should suit you a little better, should you get joy in your friends rather than sit here alone.
I guess I'll just look between the two of them. What do you think? Should I stay behind, or is this good enough?
You should come.
Okay, and then he'll kind of, he'll put it on, tie it around his waist, and put the hood up over his head.
And pulls in. As you pull the hood up, especially down here where there isn't a whole lot of daylight, even with the little light coming in from the couple of portholes that are above the water's surface, when that pulls out, Vera, you notice me, his face is almost completely invisible within just sort of the shadow of this hood. The way it sort of hangs forward and down over his face. Again, in brighter light, it's going to be a little easier to see into, but without a direct inspection, I think you should be okay for, as long as you don't cause too much trouble.
Well, this'll work in a pinch, I suppose. Looking very pious, very mysterious, very good.
Should we get moving then?
Yeah, let's go. He's gonna
Okay.
sink the ship if we don't.
Yeah, start heading above deck.
Okay, so you guys start making your way along. Now, Furia, are you just going as is, where you're not seeing any guards?
I would have my hood up over my head as well.
Okay.
But other
Yeah,
than
and you're
that,
wearing all
pretty
different
much
clothes as well.
More
Doing
or
a
less,
change.
yeah, different colors for sure, but still very simple and.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you had
fitting
picked up
in
other
Yes,
clothes
fitting
from
in
what
with
people
the-
had seen you.
everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're more local fashioned than you were before, where you bought the clothes here. So you guys start making your way over. And again, you don't see a whole lot of... You see a couple of the local, dock security. But again, as you're moved down past yours, you notice, as you get closer to that ship, there seems to be less of a security presence. So, as you're walking down, you're seeing one guard posted, every, 40 or 50 feet. As you go down by that ship, you notice there's no guard within almost 100 feet of the ship on either side.
Is the lack of security concerning to either of you, or is this just me?
I definitely noticed. I don't know why, but I think we just best keep moving.
Well, I don't think it's a coincidence. But Yes, keep moving.
Oh boy.
Okay, and you guys just... I apologize. Apparently the hiccups.
Aw.
Why the hell not, right? So are you guys just heading right up to the ship, or any specific plans?
I guess, is there like anyone on deck or what appears to be a captain?
Or can we see Cyclus like on the ship?
Oh, true.
From where you guys are sitting, so if you're coming down the main, basically that main sort of shoreline section of the dock, not down along the side of the ship, you can see that there are crew members moving, and again, it's a lot of the same actions you've seen Jack and William take as things are getting prepped to leave. You're watching them tying ropes off, making sure everything's set on the nets, or a couple up dealing with the sails. So it looks like they are prepping to depart. You see a lot of people. You see a couple of individuals standing up by the wheel at the back of the ship, but you don't see Seckless anywhere.
Maybe we should ask someone who's just loading stuff onto the ship if we can talk to Cyclus, or maybe we should just go and grab the captain or something.
Yes, should we just ask one of the crew for the captain? Or without, should we just walk straight on board? I don't know.
I've heard it's rude just to walk onto somebody else's ship,
I
but I don't know if that was just a story I heard.
So I'll just, hey, you, just said one of the workers on deck.
He looks down. Oh, what's it to you?
Is the captain on board?
Of course, Captain. Don't leave.
Uh,
What's it to you?
we just, we're looking for a friend of ours who's on the ship, and we just thought maybe we should see if the captain knows, or ask the captain if we can board.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 1.
Oh
Looks
boy.
down at you. And who shall I say is asking?
Just friends of Seckless.
The eyes go a little wide when you say that name.
Oh heck.
You watch as the head turns back. And let me see what he's...
Is Cyclus the captain? Did we? Oh dear.
Is he a stowaway?
Okay.
No, no.
So... Come on, system.
I mean, apparently we're missing people on our ship. I'm sure
Oh,
that
okay.
the captain would take him in. Oh.
What is... Why can I not find my notes on this guy? Just a second here. That's what happens when you have so much time to plan things. You put things in weird places. Okay, what language do you all speak? I don't think any of you speak this, but of course I'm trying to pull up my shit, so...
Common and Draconic.
Elvish, Sylvan, and Druidic, as well as Common, of course.
Abyssal, gnomish, common.
Okay, yeah, so basically you hear a random sort of garbled thing come out of this guy's mouth. None of you speak this language. And then...
I guess I just...
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just look at Art and Furia to, try and see if they picked up on what he said, because I didn't.
Art is doing the same, but to you two.
We're all just like, what?
And as a couple of seconds he turns down, walk down on the plank and wait.
Okay,
Okay, that sounds
thank you.
good. Thank you.
Go ahead and all of you make perception checks for me.
Snow Moon, I'm scared.
14.
No! 10!
24.
Okay. So there's hope. As you start walking down, Inferiors, you're just sort of looking around, just getting to feel from this guy. You notice that there are 3 or 4 people who had been up in the sort of nets and rigging, working on the sails, that are now watching down with crossbows pointed at the 3 of you. Just watching your movements. You don't get a real sense of hostility. They seem more cautious than anything else.
My hands will definitely drift towards the swords at my waist, but then I realize that's probably a bad idea, and then I consciously pull my hands away from them. But I don't say anything because I think at this point pointing them out would be a bad idea to my friends.
And you don't. With that perception check, as your hands start to drift, you watch it. You watch as everyone sort of tightens up, and they're looking more at you. As you pull your hands
They
away,
do see a longbow on my back, so.
as you pull your hands away, you watch as they don't relax, but it's not quite as like, okay, we got to shoot that one first. It's just like, okay, keep a watch on the 3 of them. So eventually, a few minutes goes by, and then a rather barrel-chested individual comes walking over and looks to be Snow Moon. He's almost your height. Very broad, like literally barrel-chested individual. Massive arms on this guy. He comes walking over. Oh. And who might you be coming to see my ship?
Hello, sir. You can call me Snow Moon. These are my friends here, and we're looking for another friend of ours. Goes by the name of Seklis. I believe he's a crew member on this ship.
You can call me Dunbar, and I'll be the captain of this here vessel. And saying I was to have an idea of this person you're looking for, why would I be telling you? Why are you seeking someone and claiming he's here?
We're heading off the island soon, and we just wanted to have a few words with him before we part ways. Say farewell.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a persuasion check again for me.
Okay. 17. Let me check what my modifier is. So 19.
Oh, okay. Actually, this is going to matter then. Let me check his modifier. Okay. Huh. Okay. So as he's sort of looking you up and down, he watches and then he sort of takes his hands, starts cracking his knuckles, and you watch it just moving his hands around a little bit. He's looking down at you. And then as he reaches out towards you and you watch as he's just got a copper coin. Sort of like juggles it across his knuckles back and forth. Looks down at you. What are you really thinking about it? And Snow Moon, I need you to make a wisdom save.
Ooh, okay.
I don't like this.
10. Yeah, that's a 10.
Okay. Let me just say, I don't think that's going to do it for this guy, but yeah. Okay. So as you're sitting there and you're having this conversation with him, all of a sudden you feel this push inside your head. And it's not pain, but you basically get the sort of the sensation that this individual is sort of pouring your brain out and is just rummaging through your thoughts as he's talking to you about Seklis.
Okay.
And after
He kind of staggers back a little bit.
and all of a sudden you watch is the mouth breaks into this giant toothy white smile. She looks down at you. Oh, so you're the ones behind that. Why don't you come aboard? The headache will pass in a moment. One can never be too careful around here.
What is happening?
And then he'll just kind of... Yeah, he'll just follow now. He won't say anything else.
Art, do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
As you say that, is you guys, and are you following along the Snow Moon's heading up?
I would be, yes.
Yeah.
He looks down at you and says,
Last.
I'll turn to Art and kind of like, come on, it's okay.
Okay.
this massive human looks down at you and says, let us just say I'm a practitioner of the arcane arts and have to take care of the people who are paid passage. So I had a little poke around your friend's noodle there to see if he was on the up and up.
I'm such a shit wizard. Okay.
Oh, are you a practitioner?
A very poorly one.
Not poor, just need a little life experience behind you.
Yes.
We all started somewhere. I started when I was but a lad your size.
Oh, I'm a gnome. I don't get any bigger.
Well, there he watches the face drops a little bit. Yes. So, yes, well, let's come along down. Come along down, and we'll go see your friend. He's sort of walking around like.
To sort of smooth over the moment, Furia, with all seriousness. Well, we do have some very important information regarding your ship, if Seklis is indeed on this ship, which I believe he is. But it's urgent, and I suggest you don't leave until we've shared.
Follow me then, and we'll get this all underway. Use my quarters just in case. And he starts leading you down, and as you guys are heading down to the captain's quarters, this is probably a good time for us to take our break, as we're about halfway through. There's a few minutes to hop off our drinks, facilities, and whatnot. Thank you to those of you who have been hanging out with us. I know we had Sarah stop by for a few minutes earlier. Hope you're feeling better. And we will see what happens next to our current band of 3. So don't go anywhere, folks. We will be back in just a few minutes. back, folks. I just completely realized that I never hit the transition button to put on our commercials. So y'all just witnessed us all just arriving back as we were still, on the screen. So, this is what happens when I try something new and, try to use the, I don't even know what the hell this is called, layout, instead of my normal layout. So, yeah, studio mode, that's what it's called. So, don't forget, folks, if you're streaming and using Streamlabs OBS, which we love, if you use studio mode, there is a giant transition button which you have to actually click to make something happen. If you don't click it, it didn't happen. So for those of you who've been sitting here watching, congratulations, you saw my booty as I walked away. Hope you enjoyed. So with that, our group has made their way down onto the deck and now into the captain's quarters of the Crimson Bow. They have met the captain, Dunbar, a massive, barrel-chested individual who is almost the same size as Snow Moon. Claims to be a practitioner of the arcane arts, although looks like he would be more comfortable wrestling bears or pulling trees out by the trunk. And that is where we will pick up as our party is led down into the captain's quarters. And as the captain sits down in a rather oversized plush chair, you notice there is a very ornate, looks to be dark wood desk. Multiple scrolls rolled up in a couple of cubby holes on it. Quill in a inkwell sitting there. A couple of more sheets of parchment on top of it. Bookshelf with just a row after row of books on it. He looks at the three of you. So you'll be coming looking for Seckless. And you say you've got news on my ship.
Yes. Is Seckless is on board, correct? Or is a crew member at least?
No and no. He is, shall we say, a chartered guest. He is paid for travel.
But yet to arrive.
Yes, he had gone to collect a few things and leave something with some friend of his back in Ravensmoor. Said he would be back shortly. He is helping me find my way home, shall we say.
Fair enough. May we wait here for him?
I suppose I would have no problem with it should you provide the information you said you know of my ship. You said there was a risk.
Of course.
Well, we came by because we knew our friend, or had heard our friend was going to be on this ship, and we didn't want anything bad to happen to him, so we thought we'd come by and share the information, provided he was indeed taking this ship.
And indeed he is. So what is the information you'll be sharing?
Well, to put it very simply, you got some holes in the bottom of your ship.
Sorta, kinda.
Wait, what?
We didn't put them there, if that's what you're thinking.
He opens the door and you can hear him, again, barking out in that same strange dialect. And then you hear something come from up the stairs, and then a couple of seconds later you hear 3 or 4 splashes. We'll be seeing what they come back and say. So, if you didn't do it, then who did?
Well, we don't know. We know that there are several people were seen tapping on the bottoms of people's ships, which is how we came to our attention as our ship was getting tapped on. And when we went to investigate, discovered that this ship had holes drilled into it. And, figured out our friend was going to be aboard and came by to say so.
Are we saying that something was put into those holes, or is that a secret that I just said?
I'm assuming that the people checking out the bottom will find that out.
Okay.
I did see that some pieces, circular pieces, like thin, I don't know what they were put into the holes. But I don't know. To be honest, Captain, I'm not a sailor. I don't really know much about ships. But I'm assuming that eventually the rods would fall out and your ship would sink in the middle of nowhere.
As he watches, almost a slight amused smirk plays on his mouth. These fools just have no idea. We'll find out what they are, and then we'll deal with them.
Have you seen this practice before, Captain? Seemed quite unusual.
Yes. No, but most of what I see around this place is unusual. Especially for one such as you. Never seen a white one before. I've seen brass, copper, gold, silver. But never a white.
My lineage is... I have various types in my lineage, so...
But how did you get here? Did you not come through the same way I did? And why are you not pillaging and doing the things you people are known for?
I can't speak for any of my other dragonkin, but we're not here to pillage.
Go ahead, all of you make an insight check.
Uh, 15.
21.
5.
Okay, so Snowmoon and Artemis, you would both pick up on this. He seems generally confused and intrigued by Snowmoon.
Okay.
I'm entranced by the wood.
And
that the
I
desk
did
is
not
made out of.
I did not pick up on this, you said?
No, I said you and Artemis.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fira, go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Natural 1.
And what's your passive perception?
Passive perception is 16.
Okay, so as you're sort of staring at this, you are starting to notice the lettering on the bindings of the books. Don't look like anything you've ever seen before. He is also wearing, you also see an emblem. Let me see, make sure I describe this properly. Okay, let's see here. and it is shown as what looks to be 3 concentric circles. The largest outer circle, we'll start with this one. So the smallest circle is solid black. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. We have the ability to do art projects in this lovely little thing.
Yay!
So we're gonna go. Give me just a second here, because Jan did not fully prep this. Here we go. It's Alt and Shift. No. Okay, no, I don't want square. How do I? Oh, that was Control. That's why it wasn't working. Okay. So we're gonna go Shift. So the that is just hideously misplaced, but oh well, we're going to work with what we've got here. So the largest circle looks like this. The second one within it sort of like this. And then the third black one is the smallest and sits in a very... I'm not gonna. The third black one sits right inside it. I'm just gonna use the white. Oh my word, mouse! What are you doing to me? My mouse is having like a breakdown today. And the black one sits sort of like this in the front of it. And actually, I should be able to. There we go. Change it like that. So this is roughly what you're seeing on the back of his chair as you're staring at the wood around. And as you look, you see that emblem 2 or 3 other spots throughout the cabin. Doesn't look like anything that you've seen before. So it's snowing. He keeps looking you up and down.
Yeah.
Are there more of you around here?
No, I haven't seen another of my kind on this island. No.
Huh. Better for the island, then.
He's uncomfortable, but he doesn't want to, this is kind of a delicate situation, so he doesn't really want to engage it any further.
He looks down at Artemis and over at Fury a little bit. So, what exactly were you and our passenger doing? And he's paying rather large sum of coin plus the offer of help to me, so.
Well, you saw inside my head, so you got the idea of what we were here for, I take it.
Yes, that's rather a entertaining little picture you had of your and his involvement, shall we say. But
So we've handled our business on this island, and we just wanted to say our farewell to Seklis before we departed, and to inform you about the damage done to your ship, of course.
as a couple of moments goes by and a couple of people come, you can hear footsteps coming running down the stairs, and they're quick. And then as he turns around, and again, that same dialect being spoken again. And as the door opens, you see, looks to be a rather young human. Again, that same, the sort of muscled body, much more slight than this gentleman is. And then, as you're looking at the person beside them, your first thought is almost thinking a halfling. But then, as they turn it, no, it maybe an elvish child or a half-elvish child. It's this individual is built small like a gnome or a halfling would be, but has a very, almost perpetually childlike face. Bright orange, what looks to be some sort of fur pants. Now dripping wet. Hair pulled back towards the top, and 3 long, basically ponytails coming off, one off of each side and one off the middle back of their head. Comes down probably about midway down the back of their thighs. And just as you're looking at this person, pouches everywhere. Almost like a bandolier strap across the chest, with pouch after pouch after pouch after pouch after pouch. Again, all now dripping water running out of a little lake, netting down at the bottom of it. But the 3 of them have a conversation, and then the captain looks over. And it looks like you'll be telling the truth, as what they've put in there is basically going to degrade over the next few hours and meant to be sinking us when we're out there, so we have some repairs to be making. So,
If I may be so bold, just out of curiosity, what is that dialect that you are speaking? I only know a couple languages, Gnomish being one of them, because... but it's interesting nonetheless.
He looks towards it and says, it's the language of where I come from. It's a long way from here. You probably haven't even heard of it.
And you said that Seklis is helping you to find that place, yes?
He looks down.
Oh,
He's helping me find me way home.
oh, okay. I apologize, I'm not trying to be hostile. You could easily throw me over the edge. I'm just asking.
As you say that, you watch as he sort of laughs. And just looks back at you. I could do that, or I could banish you into another dimension. I could do a million different things if I chose to.
Oh dear. Okay, well.
But, well, let us try it this way. Where are you from?
Well, an island.
No. Think grander than that.
Oh.
What
Oh,
world
dear.
are you from?
Oh dear. Oh.
Because I am not.
This feels like a Bailey Bailey situation. Okay. So, I clearly need to read more books. That sure does answer my question.
He looks down a little bit and just sort of chuckles. Let's put it this way, and I apologize to all of you. You are not going to understand the bloody word I'm saying. But rest and know it is true. We were sailing on the Blood Sea and got caught in the maelstrom. And somehow, as the ship was pulled down, we found ourselves here. Your friend has said he may know of a way to get us back where we came from, and said he would help me find it.
He doesn't have similar looking eyes to Seklas, does he? He has like normal eyes?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. Go! 13.
It's as you're looking at, as he's looking and he's meeting each one of your gazes. As he meets yours, or as you know, his eyes are not colored the same way Seklas's are. But you get the first time you met eyes with Seklas, there was that brief moment of, I don't want to say like discomfort, but that brief sort of, oh, that's new. That weird sort of sensation you got from meeting his eyes. That, I can't remember, a couple of you got that. As you look into Dunbar's eyes, you get that same sort of sensation. You've got a similar sensation to this, that it's not a negative or a malevolent feeling, but it's that same sort of, this is a little beyond what I was expecting. Type, this is bigger than my britches type feeling, where you just go, oh shit, there's more going on here that I didn't understand. And you get that same sort of, whoa, this guy ain't talking that he's from, Waterdeep. And the things that he's mentioning as you're talking to him, Maelstrom, Blood Sea. You being probably the most book learned out of the three of you in the room, you've never heard of these places before.
Oh dear.
He looks in. As you see, we're travelers just trying to find a way home.
Right.
Well, we're not going to stand in your way.
We have some work apparently to do on the ship. So if there's he sort of gets up and starts walking up and just sort of beckons you, group of you, to follow along with him. And as you get up, all of you notice walking behind him now, and Felix, you were really only the one who was looking around the room and really got sort of stuck on that wood. The back of the, I'll call it, he's almost wearing like a cross between a vest and a robe. So it's like, this robe that he's wearing looks to be like just an upper part of a vest that just flows down to about mid-calf on him. On the back of it, And the robe itself is like an almost like a whitish gray. So it's got a very slight hint of gray, but a much lighter hue to it. And center on the back is a large, like, bright, pure white circle. He eventually makes his way back up onto the deck. And as you guys are all walking up a few minutes later, you can see looks to be Seckless is starting to come down the dock heading towards the ship. Looks like your friend to be on his way, so I'll be back in dealing with them. Sort of.
Thank you, Captain.
And then to Art reaches down and hands you a small bundle. Art looks to be 2 or 3 small tubes. May take some work for you to figure out how to read them. But should you learn, they could be of help to you.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Reaches out and drops this massive hand on the top of your head. This is Solinari guide you. And then as he picks up his head, sort of looks down at the...
Oh, sorry about that.
I'm not gonna ask. Just walks over to the side of the ship and starts scraping the grease off. After that takes better, and then you watch as he moves his hand and it just disappears. And then a couple minutes later, Seckless comes up and it looks at the 3 of you standing on the... what?
It's a long story.
You made it back. You're okay. It looks like.
Yes. Why are you not on the ship? Thought you were laying low.
We were.
We just wanted to make sure you were okay, and if you heard anything about what's going on with the lady and all that stuff, and
Ask the captain. He'll explain what we found out.
Had a conversation with Mastermate, did you? Interesting character, that one.
I'll say.
You're telling me.
Not too keen on Dragonkin, that one.
He sort of looks down and chuckles. Certainly haven't forgotten the ones we ran into. Let's just say...
Just because one human acts poorly doesn't mean the rest of them need to act the same way.
He just sort of looks down. Oh, there's still much to be learned.
What is he speaking?
Just sort of laughs and looks down. It's a dialect of his home.
God damn it!
He's from a place called Northern Urgoth.
Gosh, northern whatever. Okay.
It is dialect spoken mostly by I suppose I'll call them a group of humans, sailors from that area.
Oh, you sure chose a weird ship to be on.
Weird needs require weird friends. Point and case and gestures at the three of you.
Touche.
And as he gestures, and looks a little closer at you, Art, sort of cocks his head. It better the other way.
You're telling me.
The captain said you could, or at least knew a way to get him home.
He sort of, again, does the same sort of thing the captain did, where looks down a little bit, looks away from the group of you. Yes, I'm pretty sure I know how to get him home.
I think you should do your best to do that. People deserve to be home.
And away from here. This place sucks.
That is that is the desire. We just need to find what he is seeking and then get him on his way.
You think we'll meet again sometime?
He just sort of looks over and again, sort of a half grin on his face. I do not know, Elf. We might. We might not. I have a feeling, though, we're destined to do this again at some point. There's still a lady to deal with.
Indeed.
Did you encounter any trouble from the lady or her guards after we left the manor?
No, I traveled with you most of the way.
Okay, it was just...
I went back, gave the stone to Father Abel.
Okay, I mean, the
Yes.
captain will
We
tell
found
you
you.
more, but it seems like someone is after us or searching for us, so...
And you watch as his sort of eyes and face go a little odd at first. What did they look like?
I wasn't the one who saw them, Furia.
I would be able to describe the people I saw in the marketplace
No, okay.
before I left. And I think it was Art that overheard the conversation between Mealy Bailey and that weird guard.
Yeah.
Is it?
I guess I. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I mean, depending on how interested Seklis would look upon like talking about those guards, Art would probably mention the exchange.
It's when you first say guards, he sort of. It almost looks like he's going to write it off. But as things go on in, he hears more about the whole following. It seems like he gets a little more interested in it. Would Art make any
Yeah.
comments on it or no?
I would definitely mention the staff seemed to be trackable.
Yeah, I would probably mention it just because I'm curious what his reaction would be.
Oh, okay. So as it. As that's mentioned and as things are going around, and he just sort of starts shaking his head a little bit. Should have known. This is what happens when you trust locals. Well, suffice to say, if the staff's been removed, it is safest. it sounds. But... Oh, poor Lydia. Where's Lydia, anyway? Why did she not come with you?
Off on a different errand.
She and Jack left this morning.
What, they went back into the city?
Jack was emphatic about getting her weapon back. We're returning.
It just sort of looks and... I really didn't think she'd leave either of those out of her sight, but... if that's what they're doing... I hope she returns soon so you can depart this place as we are planning to. What are your plans next?
Once
That's
our
what you were
crew
seeking from
is
the...
back aboard, I think we're gonna try and get out of here as quickly as possible.
Do you know where you're heading next? What is your next port of call?
We have not decided yet. Probably, well, definitely somewhere in these islands, but it is as of yet undecided.
And forgive me, this is DM cannot remember. Did you guys talk to Seckless with what you were looking for? I don't believe you shared what you were looking for, correct?
I don't think
remember.
we did. I don't.
Okay.
I don't remember if we did or not.
I
think it's been hinted at that we were not there solely to murder the lady, but we had other plans,
Yeah,
robbing the
I think you
place.
guys mentioned in passing that you were there to rob her, but I don't think you guys actually told him what you were looking for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that sounds
definitely haven't mentioned the whole story.
Okay.
For sure, so.
So as you guys are sort of going back and forth a little bit, and Donnie sort of goes, it's... Man, if you're looking for more wealthy individuals to, rob and potentially burn down their homes, I hear Norland can be nice. There's also some areas in, I believe it's Alaron, to the north. Calidar, I hear, is a very lovely capital city.
I guess we'll have to talk it over with the captain.
Yes, we
It all
will
depends on
look into them.
what your goal is and what you are seeking, I suppose.
Yes, thank you. Just kind of not really interested in telling him what we're really trying to find.
He seems to just be giving the, pretty much the group of you sort of the once over, but instead of just nod and goes up, talks to the captain for a few minutes, and then just looks back at you, gives a brief wave, and heads downstairs.
Well, at least we know he's okay. Just added more questions, though.
Yes, I mean, at least he didn't run into any of the lady's guards directly, but...
I think we should get back to our own ship before anything happens with us just standing out in the open like this.
Yeah.
Yes, let's head back.
Keen to get this out of my hair.
As you guys start to depart, and you hear you hear Dunbar call out and just, Solinari guide you.
Thank you. cool. What is that?
I don't know.
Then you guys start making your way back to the ship.
You?
Yeah. As you guys start heading back down the dock, and again, as you're noticing Snow Moon and Artemis, you both, I guess I'll say, you start seeing bits and pieces almost on the side of the ship. Art, you recognize this as almost looking to be arcane runes.
On which ship?
On the Crimson Bow.
Okay.
Snow Moon. Now, mind you, as you're looking at it, it looks like arcane runes, but not quite. It's like there's something similar to it, but it's just that half shade different. And Snow Moon, as you're walking by, you're just sort of keeping the heads on a swivel and noticing now the letters look almost draconic to you.
Ah.
But again, much like Artemis is seeing, it's not quite right.
So
It's like it's sort of like if you're looking at a word written in English, and then a different word or the same word written in German.
Okay.
Some of the characters are the same, some of them are completely different. And when you look at it and you go, "Oh, that says Weiss." No, it really doesn't. But that's what it looks like in your dialect. With this, again, bad example, but you're not even getting enough to sort of sound anything out.
Okay,
like
that
someone-
was going to be my question. So,
Yeah, it's like, basically it looks like somebody took the draconian alphabet, the draconic alphabet, cut it in half, and took like the half of some of the letters, the bottom half of the other letters, and mixed and matched it with the top and bottoms of another alphabet.
Okay.
So it's like there's not enough there for you to really make anything out of, but it's just enough where it's like, did I forget how to read? No,
Yeah.
no, it's not that. They're weird.
Yeah, I guess I'll do like a double take and look at it like. Art, can you read the writing on the boat there? I thought I could for a second, but now it just looks kind of hazy when I look at it.
It certainly does look like some sort of runic language, but nothing I'm familiar with.
What are you guys gawking at? We gotta go.
I'm sorry.
Yes, can I, like, try and jot down, to the best of my ability, what I see? Like, recreate it?
Sure.
Even though I don't really understand it?
It's easy enough. Do you have anything to write on?
Let me check. I don't know if I do, actually. So maybe not.
If you had a pen, you could write it on your hand, but
If you got a dagger, you can carve it into your scales.
I could carve it into my
that
scales.
too.
No, he's not that interested, so he'll just kind of shrug it off, I guess.
Yeah, if Snowmoon's gonna stop for a second, Furia's just gonna keep walking, knowing that she's the
Okay.
least disguised of everybody and should get back onto the ship.
Yeah, so he'll see Furia, and then he'll kind of just forget about it and start walking back.
Oh, okay. You following suit art or?
I'm probably going to jot down a couple in my notebook.
Oh, okay. So easy enough for you to start jotting down some of the characters.
Yeah.
Go ahead and we'll say make an intelligence check.
Ugh.
See what you can get jotted down within a couple of moments. As you start jotting down, you notice your two friends are starting to wander off.
The one looks like yeah, but it's kind of weird and Oh. 24?
Oh.
Okay, while they do look strange to you, you've been writing spells in your spellbook. You're used to working with arcane runes and the general language of magic and the way you have to write your spells in. And just practicing these characters over and over without really knowing what they meant at first, you have no problem copying down everything. And it is 3 specific... well, you're assuming based on the grouping of letters, it is 3 words. Because you got a chunk of letters, then a space, then a chunk of letters, then a space, and then a chunk of letters beneath it. So, assuming that it's structured the same way your normal languages are, you're assuming it's 3 separate words. But you managed to get it all copied down. Only takes you about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. At that same point, your friends are most of the way back to the ship at this point. But
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, you have everything marked down.
Okay, I'll hurriedly put the book back in my book bag, and I
So
guess
before next week, now I actually have to get that drawn out and put into Roll20.
I'll run back up like alongside them, kind of half like grabbing the little tube things that he gave me,
Okay.
but kind of waiting until we're getting back on the ship to kind of take a closer look at them.
Okay. So eventually you all make your way back onto the ship. You see the captain sitting up top, and as a group of you come on, takes a couple of steps down. Oh, we saw William a short bit ago. Is wandered off to go have a smoke. I sent him to pick up a couple of things from one of the market stalls a little ways up. We can use just something to drink this evening. But also had him put the word out so we can get ourselves gone tomorrow. So, him and a couple of the crew have gone back out. Still no word on Jack and Lydia yet, but hopefully they should be returning soon. Did everything go as hoped with the other vessel?
Yes and no.
That is maddeningly helpful.
Artemis is dissatisfied as they got more questions now than answers, but we notified the captain of the problem and they are in the progress of fixing it.
And Seklos didn't encounter any of the Queen's guard, so if we get out of here by tomorrow, I think we might be able to.
I don't believe the captain knows who that is.
The captain is just staring at you, just sort of blinking every couple of seconds, like...
Never mind.
Slow nod to Furia.
They helped us acquire some things. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Ah, yes. Well,
Which we... Actually, I do believe Jack has. Or was it me? Actually, I think I have the bag of holding.
at the moment, you do.
I do think that we should take out what we pilfered once we're away, as several items were magical and may be trackable.
Let's wait until we get a bit of ways then, so we'll have to sell them at the next port. Which, likewise, we will also discuss when we are not here. Well, suppose at this point there isn't much left to do. What are your plans for the rest of the day?
I have a job for Artemis. It won't take them very long, but more of a quest.
This
But
is
other than
news to
that,
me,
I
but
mean,
okay.
And the captain looks over. Snow Moon, did my mother's robe assist you?
Yes, thank you. He, like the fact that it was like maybe more feminine. It didn't even like it went over his head completely. So
What's your passive insights? I think Fear's probably got the highest. I don't even know if she'll have high enough to catch
Passive
it.
perception.
No, insight.
insight.
Oh, I don't know what mine. Because perception is wisdom, but I don't have a very high.
Yeah, let me just check it. I always forget passive insight.
You don't know where to find it.
So it should be 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your
Plus wisdom.
plus your wisdom. Sorry.
Okay, so that would be 11 for me.
Okay.
It'd be same as my passive perception.
Okay, and what's that?
16.
Okay, yeah. So, Furia, you immediately right as Snowman just responds like he was handed a burlap sack. You notice the captain sort of get a little dejected at first. Oh, I was hoping for a better reaction.
And if if he sees these interactions, he doesn't know what they're about.
That's why I asked for the passive, because it's not really an interaction.
Yeah.
It's more just as you're like, oh yeah, it was great. It's anyone with a high enough passive would notice. It's just like, oh.
Yeah,
glad
so
to hear
he's
that-
just totally oblivious to all that.
Okay. Anything else? Fury said that it's something they want to talk to Artemis about.
Yeah, so once we get down below, I would show Art the ring that I had shown Lady Eurylisa and say, could you identify this for me? I don't think it's magic, but could you please just check it out?
Sure. Give me a little bit. I guess they'll take the ring and look it over and please identify.
Okay. And are you casting it as a ritual, or do you have it prepared?
I actually do have it prepared,
Okay.
which is cool. I don't know how to wizard, you guys. I just clicked on it, so.
Okay. So let me see. And I actually think I misgave you passive insight because I can't find
Yeah,
that
I'm
thing
looking it up right now, and it says mine passive insight would actually be 13.
Yeah. So that's it. I don't
So
know.
even lower than so I
Yeah.
And passive investigation for me is only a 10. It doesn't say how it calculates it, but it's...
Yeah, I know. That's what it's killing me. I couldn't find it real quick, so I tried to pull up my character sheets on D&D Beyond, and it doesn't show me how it calculates, and I can't find the thing that's adding up to it. So
Yeah.
I have to figure out another point. But so okay, Artemis, as you start casting your spell, and it's down, you start taking things out, you start going through everything. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh, crap.
Oh, shoot, I knew I should have warned them.
Okay. So, because of gnome cunning, I do have an advantage. This was...
Gnomes. Although,
This
I will
was...
say, that has saved my ass on more than one occasion, so I can't be too mad about it.
This was 17, but
Oh,
I'll
nice.
see. Yeah, that's lower. 17.
Okay. So as you start casting it, you start to almost get that sort of familiar tingle within you, that when you're looking at something that's magic and you start to feel that this very sort of slight trace of arcane energy from within the ring. And then as you're starting to concentrate and you start sort of pushing the magic into it to draw out the information on it, all of a sudden you get a flash in your mind. And it's just a myriad. It's literally less than a fraction of a second each. But you watch as you get a swirling kaleidoscope of color that looks to be almost in a whirlpool. And it changes from this bright flash of white blinding light. And then starts to, literally as the light starts to dim, and you watch as it turns to a dark, almost a reddish color. And then turns even darker until it's black, as it looks like it's swirling down. And as it pulls down towards this central point. And again, it feels like you're falling into this vortex. And as you start falling down, you see as a single eye opens. Gold in color. With a black pupil. And as you start to try to focus, as something about this looks as, again, this is just massive compared to you falling into this. It's literally like standing in front of a building the size of this eye. And as you're looking at this black, you start to realize something doesn't look right. Something about this eye is wrong. You're thrown back. And in the back of your mind, you hear almost a whisper, quietly. It is not time yet.
Well, Furia, that's an interesting ring you have. It frankly is terrifying. I don't know what the hell it is. Is that whole flash of colors and the spooky thing supposed to happen, or is that just?
What happened? I saw you go all of a sudden very blank. And I mean, I just think it's a normal ring. Obviously not. I mean, I didn't know if that the Viceroy was lying to me, and I thought I'd get you to check it out. And
what did the Viceroy say? I was busy lighting a table on fire, if I recall. Sorry. Sorry, no.
I need those lungs. I'm sure whiskey is good for my lungs. Oh my god. Okay. Captain, do you have your notes in front of you what the Viceroy told you by any chance?
I believe it was something along the lines of there was something inside that didn't want to get found.
It's Yeah. So
I think I have something. It's cursed. Something hidden within.
okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
just yeah, that's from a month ago. Hard to find.
Yeah. But I mean, I didn't know if she was. I mean, sometimes you know, if you don't like somebody, you just tell them something's cursed, so they're not going to use it. And you know, she was meaning to kill us and all of that with that whole situation. I should have warned you. I'm sorry.
You know what? No, it's okay. I'm still here. So maybe in future warn me next time, but right now,
At least your
bygones.
hands didn't go all blistery.
Is that okay? Maybe the less I know about this is the better.
But I mean, that's all I saw. I mean, the viceroy checked it out, said it was maybe cursed and that there was something inside it, but then her hands went all blistery like it was hurting her.
So
There's
Art,
something
you
in there
do
for
pick
sure.
up. You do pick up even with that, like the sentiment and the feeling and the image you saw. You do pick up that something in this, within this ring, has a source of radiant power.
Mm.
So you do get that much out of it, but it doesn't give you a whole lot to go on. It's really all you can find at this point.
Like radiant power as in good or just radiant power?
Radiant type power? I don't.
Yeah,
I
so
guess was the fire
speaking
power?
mechanically right, as opposed to like fire or ice or necrotic,
Okay.
this is a source of radiant energy is coming. You get a source of radiant energy coming from it. It's not necrotic, so
Okay.
which as your Fury is mentioning about the burning of the,
Mm-hmm.
proposed undead person, it seemed, oh yeah, okay, that's the feeling I got.
Well,
So just
tracks.
swirling colors? That's it?
well, there was swirling colors, and then everything was. I was falling. Things were falling. There was a giant eye. Very pretty, gold eye. And then it said that it's not time yet, or something like that. And
I seem to remember hearing that somewhere before.
then I got
It's not
popped back here.
time yet.
Where did you
That's-
find this?
I've had it always.
That's ominous.
Let's just say it was a newborn present.
Did you guys go under? Are you back underneath, or are you just sitting up on the deck?
I'm assuming we're a floor below.
Probably below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. About this time, you start hearing shouting coming from the deck.
Oh dear.
Uh,
I quickly hand the ring back and.
Yeah, I would want it back and
Yeah.
tuck it back in my pocket.
I guess.
Oh dear, that doesn't sound good.
I guess
No.
first, do we recognize the voice? Is
Yeah, it
just
sounds
a
like
crew?
it's a couple of the crew members.
Okay.
It's nothing
uh,
too loud, but they're sort of calling back and forth. You can tell something's going on specifically on deck.
Well, I didn't think they would be happy coming back early, but that sounds a little overboard. Not literally, figuratively. I don't know if it's safe for us to go check, though.
I guess I look at Art, whose hair is still kind of greasy because I've already returned my robe.
Right then.
You want to take a quick look? Just poke your head out.
Okay. I'll go up the stairs and as much as I can, like, hide, but try to figure out what's going on.
Oh, okay, so go ahead and make a stealth check as you sort of coming, like, partially up those stairs towards the main deck.
asked Bobby. Oh, never mind. 19.
Okay. So, as as you get to about halfway up the stairs and look, you can see roughly mid-deck on the ship, there is this strange sort of what looks to be gray mist. And a slowly, almost swirling, that looks... you, Arnis, have probably seen something like this, either illustrated or through your studies. It looks to be a portal of some sort.
No.
As all of a sudden, a large, rather unconscious furbolg is dropped on the deck.
Is it Lydia?
You do recognize Lydia.
No.
Oh.
It seems to be, from what you can see from your hiding spot, seems to be breathing fine, just seems to be unconscious at the moment.
Is the portal still open?
Yes, as someone else steps
Oh!
through it. Stepping out is a rather diminutive, sunken-faced, black-haired individual. Beside him, head down, head sort of hanging, arms appearing to be not bound but just limp by her sides, stands Jack. As the individual looks, reaches back into the portal, drops a staff on top of Lydia, and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't told to bring this one, so I'm bringing it home. This one here did something my lady didn't like, so we'll be taking her back to the Shadowfell." Don't come looking. And then tilts over, looks down towards the stairs, and in Gnomish says to you, "Oh. No." And then just sits back up. And you watch as something in this long, vertically spiked black hair, watches something seems to move within, and just backs into the portal, and you watch as the portal closes.
Guys, we have a problem!
And that's where we're going to call an end to tonight's session.
Oh.
Ah!
And the player Kepler understands that.
I do. Theria, on the other hand, has no clue.
Nope. And those who aren't here, like, Sarah, who unfortunately wasn't feeling good, you're going to have to watch the end of this. Don't know why I'm looking at the bloody Streamlabs instead of the camera. Someone who's done this for a while should know better. And Sarah, I'm going to tell you, you have to watch the end of this to figure out what the hell just happened. Because, I'm an asshole. But before we disappear for next week, we will be back next week, our regular scheduled time. Again, we apologize to our viewers that we were gone for a little while, but as we are going to do our damnedest to make sure that as long as we have at least 3 people, we are going to run every week going forward from now on, as long as my players are comfortable with this. Now, for next week, we're going to do something a little different here, because we don't have everyone here to, like we normally would do for vote for a D20, a nat 20 for next week. So what we're going to do is all three of you who were here this week, you're all going to have DM's inspiration. And there's going to be a single communal D20 that the three of you can share. So it's only one of them, but any one of the three of you can use it, or donate it to one of our other players should they be back with us next week. So as we come to an end of this session, the captain has just seen Lydia dropped unconscious on the deck. William is not present at the moment, but now his sister is missing. Taken by a small, sullen-faced, dark-haired gnome into a swirling portal. Seemed to notice Artemis right away, even from Artemis's hiding spot, and made a comment in Gnomish to them. Just said no, but we'll have to see what's going on. They made a new potential friend in somebody by the name of Dunbar from a place they've never heard of. Keeps calling them strange things. They seem to have more questions than answers at the moment. So make sure you tune in next week to see what else our party can learn. Thank you very much. And for our players, not just there were, unfortunately, we are losing Matt for a little while. So as our story arc for Jack does make a little bit of sense, we are going to be down Matt for a little bit. So Matt, we wish you the best and hope for a speedy return. So until then, folks, don't forget when you're escorted onto a strange ship by a strange group of people speaking a strange language. Don't forget to insight check them all. Don't forget to add your proficiency bonus. See you all next time.